Hey, what is shaking, homies? So today I'm going to take a look at the cheapest SLA 3D printer on the market. So if you don't know what SLA 3D printing is, it is stereolithography. It's basically they use a resin and then it cures it with a UV light. And it's very professional. Like this is what like dentists use to make molds of your teeth and stuff. And the technology has in the last couple of years gone from the thousands to the hundreds. As far as I know, before this printer came out, the cheapest SLA 3D printer was $500. Well, this is on sale right now at GearBest for only $227. This is the SparkMaker SLA UV printer. And as far as I know, this started as a Kickstarter, and then you know, it went from there. But now it's the finished product. I haven't seen very many reviews up on this. All the reviews I have seen are from people that have never really used SLA printers. So being that I have two other SLA printers, I should be able to figure this out pretty easily. Now, yeah, like I said before, you can make way better prints with SLA printing than you ever could with FDM. And if at the end of the video you want to check this out, I'll have the cheapest possible price down in the video description. Okay, so the first box is just like a shipping box. Let me pull this out here. Come on, so you guys can see. Okay, and then on the box here, we got a couple little things it goes over with the specifications here, the weight, the software it uses, the resolution, the build volume, and everything. It's right there. Little picture of the box. Same thing on the other side, all the specs. And then right where you read it right away, they got a little like customer satisfaction card. It comes with a 6-month warranty, so that's very nice. A lot of 3D printers don't really come with warranties. Okay, actually I really like how the instruction manual has real pictures. It's a nice instruction manual with real pictures. I'm sure the instructions will also be on the provided SD card. But really, really cool. Okay. Okay, so as far as that goes, there's that. Okay, now let's take it out here. Okay, and definitely not the biggest printer in the world, but most things you print are usually pretty small anyways, especially with SLA style printing. Okay, so it looks like most of the stuff is packaged actually inside it here. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Okay. Yeah, that looks like everything is in here. Come on. They got masking tape around it for shipping. Okay. Now this is obviously the cover, and this is so UV rays can't get in there, because that's how it cures. And if you let like your fluorescent light bulbs shine in, or if you let sit out in the sun or on a windowsill, it'll actually cure the resin in here and it'll mess up your prints. So you want to you got to keep this on the whole time it's printing. A lot of people like to take it off and check it and stuff, which you can't really do. It really does affect your prints a lot. You really shouldn't take the top off at all until it's done. You can still see through it a little. It's got a very nice FEP vat. Actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. Very cool. Okay, and it looks like it's basically completely put together. Here, I got my power cord. I got a US power cord. You can buy US or European, so you'll have that option at checkout. Obviously, I got the US power cord. Okay, then in here, it looks like it didn't come with any resin. So that's one thing to note. You're going to have to buy resin going into it. I already have some, so that's fine. Here is the second half of the power cord. So very just standard power supply. Nothing wrong with that. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. So yeah, you will have to buy your own resin. So know that going in the resin on 3D printers is for SLA printing is much more expensive than than FDM printing. So just know that going into it, you're going to need to purchase at least one container of resin. It can range anywhere from $25 to $80 depending on how big you get and what you get, but know that going into it. Usually companies will give you at least enough to do a couple prints. So I do wish they would have included that, but then again it is only $225. So yeah, it's very simple. It looks like, to auto home it, I'm gonna have to loosen these screws. This is just me going off a guess here, and loosen this at the top, and then it'll go down, get all set up, then we can start printing. So let me just double check by reading the directions and everything, and yeah, we'll be right back and go from there. There's also QR codes on here in various spots where you can check things out. Here, I don't see a screen, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to use this thing, because I do not see a screen. I just see a knob and an SD card. You might just only be able to have one file on the SD card at a time. I don't really know. That's where you plug it in. I'm not sure if they provided me an SD card, but I guess I'll find out. Okay, here is the software. It looks fairly simple. I'm going to try to do this bunny first. Is going to be the first thing I try to print. It's kind of cool. It's like reticulated, or it's got a bunch of holes in it, or however you want to call it. It did not come with resin, so I'm going to use this Apply Lab Work beige colored resin that I got. Okay, so first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to turn it on, and you're going to want to make sure you wear gloves. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these 4 screws, the one here, which are really nice and loose. Okay, got those 2. Oh, this one's not that good. Yeah, because you want this plate to be able to move freely. This is how you're going to level the bed. Which the nice thing about resin printers is you don't have to do this that often. Okay, you see now it can move pretty freely. Like it just kind of moves right there. No problem. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, if you notice here, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, if you notice here, and then now if I move it left or right, it'll go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going to the right till it goes as low as it can go. And it has a sensor, so it should stop. And this can go up, so this is how you, once again, this is just how you're going to level it. It takes a little bit. If you go too fast, it'll go backwards, so you gotta kind of take your time. Kind of tedious here. All the way down. Okay, keep going. Okay, so it didn't sound good, but I think we're okay. Okay, so now from here, I am gonna hold it down while I tighten all these screws here. Start off doing this. Okay. Kind of a pain to get at some of these. I'm gonna go grab a different Allen head, maybe. Actually, I can do it with this one. It would be nicer if you used like one of the ones with the ball on the end. It's just easier to get at this. Not quite sure what that noise was when it went down. Hopefully it didn't damage the LCD screen, because I'm literally doing it exactly as they say to do it. So I don't think I damaged anything, but you never really know till I'm done here.
Okay, just double checking I didn't crack the screen or anything there. And I do not think I did. I think we're still good. Not quite sure what that noise was.
Okay, so now that I got it lifted up just enough, I'm gonna add some resin here. You don't want to put too much.
Oops. This stuff is very messy. Yeah, you should probably know that. Okay. And that's probably enough to get started. Okay.
Okay, so we got it filled up with resin here.
Okay, so now I'm gonna lower it again.
So I lower it all the way down.
Okay.
Okay, so that's as low as it goes. Now, I'm going to take the SD card that I saved the file to. I'm just going to put it in here.
Looks like it goes in this way.
And I think I just clicked the button. And it should start printing. So I'll check in a little bit, but I think it's as easy as that. The one thing you need to remember is I think you can only have one file on the SD card at a time. So you're gonna have to, make sure you delete the old file before you put in a new one. But other than that, should be good to go. Okay, so I cleaned this up with the isopropyl and it turned out really good. You can even see the fingernails. I don't know how the camera's picking that up. Once I prime it, you'll really be able to see everything. But yeah, I printed this solid, so it did waste a bit of resin. You can use Mesh Mixer to hollow out your objects, or just download STL files that are already hollowed out. But for having no supports, I'm extremely impressed how it did the fingers in there and everything. So for being this cheap of a printer, it is extremely easy to use so far. I just had to dial in my settings for my resin a little bit. So you have to either take your part then and put it out in the sunlight, or I actually have a UV chamber, so I'm going to put it in there. So I'm going to put it in the UV chamber, and then maybe I'll prime it, but I'll show you guys that later. But now I'm going to try to print something a little more complex. Now that I figured out how to dial in my settings, I'm going to try to do something a little more complex. So yeah, let me get it all set up, and we'll be back. Okay guys, the second thing I'm going to try to print is this Statue of Liberty. I hollowed it out using the program Mesh Mixer. I'll put the link to Mesh Mixer, and this is really cool. This is a third-party slicer I'm trying out. It's called Slicer, and so far so good. You can adjust all the settings very easily, and just another alternative. And the cool thing about this is it actually is web-based, so you could even do this off your cell phone and save the file. It saves it to a zip, and then you can just download the zip file with your WoW file for the printer. So really cool. So this is gonna be the next thing I print. Just waiting for it to finish slicing here, and we'll get started. Okay guys, so my Statue of Liberty is done. So yeah, it came out pretty good after I clean it up and everything and prime it. I'll be showing you guys. There was one small spot where, because I took the lid off to check on it, I think it messed it up. So you want to make sure you don't really take the lid off and check it, because you can see, let me zoom out here a little bit. It's still very nice, but there's one hole right there and there where it just didn't take. And I believe that is because I took the lid off and was looking at it. But everything else came out pretty much perfect. You'll see that more when I cure it and paint it. But yeah, let's do a couple more prints. And yeah, maybe I'll time-lapse one or something if I can. Well, like I said before, I got to do it through the screen, because if you take that off, it really messes up your print. But yeah, let's do a couple more prints. But so far, I'm really liking this. Okay, guys, so here is the latest thing I printed, this medieval castle. So I'm going to clean this up, and then I'll show you
with some finer detail. Here on the windowsill here, I got all the stuff cured you saw before. So yeah, those are already cured. So I'm going to clean this one up, cure it, and then I'm going to hit them all with some paint so you can see the finer detail. But yeah, so far I'm really liking this printer. Definitely want to try out some other resins. So I got some other ones I ordered that are on their way, but this stuff's working pretty good for right now. Okay guys, so I hit it with some gold spray paint and primer, and yeah, you can see the much finer detail. I didn't do the best job painting it. I did it kind of fast, but I still think either way came out really nice, especially the fantasy castle. So as you can see, freaking awesome. Now with this printer, I will recommend not using the thicker types of resin. The resin I was using was the Applywork was the company. I would definitely not get that. I ordered some different resin. It's on the way, but you can look it up, and there's a Facebook group, and on the Facebook group a lot of people have suggested which resins to use. I'll put some links to some good ones down in the video's description. But yeah, I'm really liking how this is turning out. Okay guys, so after having this printer for a week, playing with it, and really figuring out all the odds and ends to it, I'm actually loving it. At first I hated that there was no screen and stuff until I actually started using it. The fact that all you gotta do is click the button and it starts, like there's nothing possible you could do wrong. It's literally like the easiest SLA printer ever. If your prints aren't sticking to the bed, just up that bottom exposure time in the slicer. The slicer that comes with it works great. There's also a third-party option, and yeah, just everything about this is cool. It's super cheap. Everything's open source, and yeah, it really is idiot-proof. I would recommend using a thinner resin. The resin I was using is just way too thick. I was still able to get results, but I had to weigh up all the exposure times. And yeah, there's definitely a lot better resins. Basically, any thinner resin would be better for this machine. I'll put some links in the video description with some ones that I saw people using for this machine that they got amazing results, even better than mine. But in conclusion, this is my third SLA printer, and basically, for the price, you could buy 3 of these for the price of either one of those printers. So, the price of both those, you could buy 6 of these. So, I mean, kind of take it for what it is. Yeah, basically a lot of these SLA printers are all the same. So the fact that you're getting I mean, they all have the same purpose. The build size is pretty much the same. Like, these are a little bit bigger, but still not that much bigger. And just the whole system itself takes up barely any room on the table at all. If you're having problems with this, also, it could be because you're taking the lid off too much. I recommend don't take the lid off at all. I was trying to do some time lapses and stuff, and I tried to film it through here. You couldn't see it, so that's why I didn't include them in the video. And I tried to do them, keep taking the lid off, and every print got ruined that I tried to keep taking the lid off. So leave the lid on, just let it do its thing, and you shouldn't have problems. Once again, I'll put the cheapest possible price down in the video's description. I just want to say thank you so much to GearBest for hooking it up with this printer. I'm going to have so much fun printing with this. I'm going to print God knows what. So yeah, let me know in the description what you guys want to see me printed with this. And until next time, I'll see you later.